Hello there, this is Critter Dread, and this is my model pack and concept for DAYZ Standalone. In this episode, we're looking at the MRE, Meal Ready to Eat. But before I start, I just want to say this is a total indie project. It's not at all supported by Bohemia Interactive. It's for future DAYZ Standalone modders once the game supports modding. So hang with me, we're going to go through it. There's going to be plenty more models and plenty more episodes. This is the first one, so sit back and enjoy.
Here's the pitch.
So, for all of you not in the know, the MRE is a meal pack used by active militaries to outdoor hobbyists. Each pack contains around 1,250 calories through a range of items offering a wholesome and nutritious meal. This in the picture is the holding packet asset, modelled off MREs commonly used in the US, hence the light brown waterproof packet. Custom icon with similar text layouts. I wanted to keep it very much the same and true to its form. So if you have any experience with MREs or US MREs, you can instantly pick up on it and identify it instead of just running across something in game and being like, what's this? I can't think of anything worse than someone running up on your work and saying, what is that, basically. It says it's an MRE, but it doesn't look like an MRE at all. So I think it's very important to keep things true to its form. Also, as well, I think a lot of you are also asking, why are you making a US type of MRE when it's a Russian environment, which DayZ is based on? And I've got to say to that, really, I've tried looking at the Russian MREs, and this is the problem I have, right? I looked at the MREs, the Russian MRE. The cover looks good, but they're just full of tins. It's just tins and tins and tins. And I think the game has just got so many tins at the moment. If I see another tin coming out in DayZ right now, I think I'm just going to scream. So I thought there has to be something new than just tins. And everyone else seems to be, all the other modders seem to be making 5 sets of tins of this, tins of beans, other versions of tins. Maybe because it's just the easiest thing to make, I don't know. But I just want to make something completely different than just tins. So yeah, that's probably the reason why I went with US instead of Russian MREs. But also, check this out. Ta-da! I've also changed the textures around and given it a little Russian flag. So I've got a Russian version as well to put in there if you want it to be all Russian. So there you go. So we're all happy. Now, moving back into the game, this is what it will probably look in a bag. I'm saying about 4 slots. It's a 4-slot sized piece. Very similar to the medical bag. And probably contains the same as a medical bag as well. Medical bag, yeah, I'd say it's about the same size. So I've gone for 4 slots myself. I think that's the most sensible. 3 slots would be too small. 2 slots definitely. 6 slots way too big. So 4 I think is just right for carrying. Here's what it looks like in the inspect window. I've tried to make it look like a lot of other objects in DayZ. The MRE does have a little bit of shine on it. So I've kept that in because I think that looks great for the specular map. But it's also got to have dirt as well because it's DayZ and it's nasty and gritty and post-apocalyptic. And even in a pristine state, there is sort of signs of dirt, like it's been carried by someone else at another time, or it's been dropped or stained or dragged through the mud. So I have to kind of give off that feel as well in my work to match the actual items in DayZ as well. So I feel that's really important. I also think that variety is important, as the MRE has a menu system, and not every MRE in a box is the same. It goes by different things from beef stew to chicken to spaghetti. So I figured it would be great to make some duplicates with altered UV maps to make a small menu series. This way, if you're walking around in the game, it's not just, oh, I found an MRE and it's beef stew. And then you find another MRE and that's beef stew, and then beef stew, and then beef stew, and so on and so on. It kind of breaks the monotony of it. I also think this would be really great for role players as well. I mean, I'm a big role player. I love role play. And for instance, if I had a character that hated chicken, for instance, then I could find a friend or a friend maybe with me who picked up a beef stew or a ratatouille and I could trade it with him. So it just sort of adds that little bit of realism as well. Okay, so we're going to go back into the game now. I'm going to look into contents. So if we open up the packet, voila, 6 slots. Because of its size, this is very similar to how the medical pack functions. 6 slots just about matches the size. For all you guys and girls in the military, or people who have military experience, or people who just have experience in the MRE, you will know that the MRE carries loads more items than 6 slots, but to make it balanced and workable in game, I've had to concentrate on its core components. The characters eat with their hands, so this instantly eliminates any use for a plastic spoon that comes with the MRE, but I was really tempted to put it up to 8 slots to put in a tea bag and a coffee pack, but there's nothing at the moment to craft the coffee and the tea into, so I'd have to bring in a camping cup. And we're kind of going off topic here. This is all about the MRE and nothing else. So 6 slots for now, maybe 8 slots, provided what comes into the game later. But before we look into the content any further, just an interesting note. I've managed to sort out enough models for there to be content variety. So you get a different set of items with every menu, or similar, but just a little bit more varied, which makes it a bit more interesting and less monotonous. Right, let's go for the items. This is the FRH heater or heat bag. This will heat your entree pack once water is added, all custom made right down to the instructions. There's a crafting setting in this, but I'm not going to show you just yet. I really think this will work well if they ever bring in a colder season, or maybe do seasons or bigger maps based in colder climates where you really have to watch your body temperature. So if you're held up or on the run or against the elements, or you need to travel light in the cold or a cold environment, you can easily just heat one of these up and keep yourself stable. But not only that, you can add water and use it as a heat pack and shove it down your pants or in your coat, and it kind of works as that function as well, which would be pretty cool. The entree. This is your main course or foil bag of meat that you can heat up. You have to bear with me because the content unfortunately is all labelled in Russian. I've still yet to do an English version, but doing an English texture won't take too long. Unless you can read in Russian, I've changed around the UV maps on each model so it corresponds with the cover. So if you get beef stew on the cover of the MRE, the entry will be beef stew as well. The same goes with the side helping as well. It's pretty much the same model, but it's just changed around UV maps. Crackers, your standard MRE cracker pack. It was a bit of a throw up between bread and crackers, and I only had enough texture space to do one. So crackers won, unfortunately, if you're a bread fan. But just a normal pack of crackers, vacuum packed in, and a little bit dirty from the zombie apocalyptic wastes. What can I say? They're crackers, and yeah, so enjoy. Pack of mixed fruits. This is a good source of nutrients and mostly vitamins for the MRE. This was probably one of the hardest models I've done for the whole model set. It doesn't look like it at all, but I was just kind of dumbfounded on trying to find some decent geometry for it which would work and really bring the pack out. But after a few tries and a few ditched attempts, I finally got something which really worked really well. This was probably the hardest model for me, even though it doesn't look it at all. But it's quite funny how you find some of the simplest things, some of the hardest things, and it's just a big learning process. But I hope you enjoy it. I've also got a mixed nuts and raisins version of this as well, just by changing around the UVs as well. Moving on to desserts with the chocolate ration. It's a little chocolate bar. I believe the USMRE has a bar called a Hurrah bar, but I didn't want to copy that directly, so I made my own version. And what can I say? It's chocolate. Everybody loves chocolate. That's why I had to put it in, because it's chocolate. And the last item is a Nutribar. What can I say? Compressed nuts together with raisins, and plenty of protein and a little bit of sugar as well. Crafting functions. Most of the stuff needs to be just eaten out of the bag, and that's it. There's no actual further functions or combinations except for one, and that's the end tray, which needs to be heated up with the heater bag. So I've done an extra model which combines the two. If you look at the screen, combine the end tray with the heater bag and you'll get something like this. I don't know if you can make out the end tray inside the bag. I may have to sort out the transparency on the textures to make it a little bit more see-through. But this is the two models combined. Once you do the crafting, the two models could go into each other, so it just becomes one model. So that's now prepped and ready to go. All it needs to be added now is water from a canteen, a bottle or a stream. And once it's poured in, of course, that starts the reaction to heat the bag. Now, the temperature only goes up to boiling point, and it stays there for about 2 minutes to 3 minutes, and it doesn't go any higher or stay on for ages because the reaction runs out, which means you'll never really have any problems burning your MRE. So you'll always have an end tray which is intact and you'll never get burnt like you do in the fire function, which is cool. Like the fire function though, when you pull out your MRE, the icon could be red, and which signifies that it's hot and it's cooked. But I think what would be a really, really cool idea, I don't know if it can be done, I'm just sort of throwing the idea out there to anyone in the future who can do it, to put in a steam effect on the MRE. I've done a little preview here of what it might look like, but unfortunately the animation came out really, really rubbish. You might just be able to see it. Here it is. It's just heating up now. I don't know if you can see it or not. Maybe if you wind back and forth on the toggle on YouTube, you might be able to see it, but it's rubbish anyway. It came out rubbish, but I've done an artist interpretation here, sort of showing you what it kind of might look like, and I don't know if you can actually do that. That would be really good to either put it in game or in the inspect window to when the MRE's on the floor so you can see it heating up, but just throwing it out there as a little idea. And that just about wraps it up. I hope you found this video interesting. If you have any comments, ideas or questions, please leave them in the comment box and I'll get back to you when I can. Subscribe for future updates and future videos of my concepts, or just hit the like button if you can and show whatever support you can. The more support you can show, the more things I can do, the more models I can make, the more concepts I can get out. So yeah, if you're on Steam, hit us up. Under CreditDreads, send us a friend invite and I'll get right back to you. I'm really into my roleplay stuff. I really love the RPGs and staying in character and all that good malarkey stuff. I'll see if I can't get a Twitter feed sorted out for my next video. But for now, this has been CreditDreads. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Take care.